It's the night they call All Hallows Eve. The night where the creepies and Carollies come out to play. And Monica, Becky, and Edie are spending the night at Edie's house, for her parents are out of town. And as the hours get late and the lights go out, Monica, Becky, and Edie start thinking of all the scary things about. Like the man recently buried in the cemetery a block down. How they say you can still hear him scratching at the coffin he was laid in if you go real close in the darkest hours of the night. Monica doesn't believe the fairy tales that Becky and Edie are telling her. Rightfully so. Who's ever known a dead man to walk again? However, Becky wants to see what Monica's guts are really made of. And so there's a bet placed, held under the watchful eye of All Hallows Eve. So, Monica must go to that grave where the man was recently buried and drive a stake from Edie's garage into the ground to come back and return that very night. Monica takes the bet. She's never been one to shy away from a little danger. And so off she sets at 2 a.m. Becky and Edie wait and wait and wait. 3, 4, 5 a.m. No Monica. 6, 7. It's getting light. No Monica. Becky and Edie, horrified at this point, they have to go check on Monica. They have to go to the graveyard. They set off as the lightest embers of the early morning sun are peeking over the horizon. They reach the graveyard, slowly making their way to the newest part, where they find a newly placed stone and freshly replaced dirt with a body laying on top. That body is, of course, Monica's. What happened to poor Monica? Well, as she placed the stake in the ground the night earlier, her skirt got caught. And as she tried to stand to leave the horrid place that is a graveyard on All Hallows Eve, her skirt was caught. And with her fear of the man underneath her coming up to grab her, coming so real via the stake holding her skirt down, she died right then and there of fright. Happy Halloween. Man. Yeah, I hope that wasn't too scary. Happy Halloween. This is the Halloween special of the Midwest Basement Escape podcast. Honestly, if you haven't read horror, and you're not, you're not really afraid of like scary movies or like haunted houses or anything like that, that stuff doesn't really get you, read some horror. I promise you, it doesn't even have to be like Stephen King stuff. Like, it really doesn't even have to be that crazy. Like, you could just read like a really short, like a ghost story, like a horror story. That stuff gets me every time. It's so freaky. Like, I was reading through a couple of ideas for the opening to this episode, and oh my god, horrifying. It's crazy how like grotesque things can get in like 3 paragraphs. You're like, whoa. Like the first one I read, I was like, I can't read that. Nobody would listen to this podcast. Um, yeah. So this is the Halloween special, probably, maybe, hopefully me and Brett might have time to actually film a real episode. So this might be off or not, but this is October 21st as of recording. And we had a little escape, but Brett felt a little sick and wasn't able to make it to record this episode. So it's just me in here doing the thing. Well, I mean, I guess I might as well jump right into it. We did have an escape for this episode. We went to a haunted corn maze, and it's kind of funny. It's a little ironic that we're escaping the Midwest basement by going to a corn maze. Not super Midwest escapist, right? But yeah, it was cool. You know, we rolled up. I rolled up to the apartment, and we set off. Me, Brett, Nico, one of our other friends, and some other people. Other 4 of our friends came. They went in a different car. So, and they also went into like a different group into the maze. So like didn't really see much of them, but they were there. And yeah, so I just rolled up to the apartment. We're vibing, listening to Halloween music, Michael Jackson and stuff. Oh, we get to this corn maze. Jelly's farm and apple orchard maybe is what it's called. I don't know. But Jelly's, it's out in the kind of the middle of nowhere. For a little bit of a trek for us, for sure. But it was cool. It was a cool place. They've got an apple orchard and a pumpkin patch from what I could see, and it's certainly a cool place. They've got a lot of really nice food in the like little store shop area that looked really, really good. And yeah, they also had a really sweet haunted corn maze, which was like $12 a person, and it was really solid, honestly, for $12. So, you know, we went to this corn maze, and it was scary, and got a little terrified. Me and our other friend broke off from Nico and Brett for a little while, just to scare them. It was really just a prank. I just turned off my flashlight and we hid behind a corner, and then they walked away. They were really more scared than me and the other one of our friends was, and so they just like kind of like dipped. They like started walking really fast. Like I think we held back like maybe 20 feet from them and then started following them again, and we didn't catch up to them for like 100 yards. Like they were booking it, which was so funny because they just left us. But we also got a massive scare out of them. Freaked them out. It was really awesome. You know, met a dude with a pig mask who was actually shockingly really good at making pig noises. Rounded off the night going to Quick Trip. I had an egg roll, or a pork and vegetable roll, I guess, and a sriracha something egg roll. It was crazy. I don't know. I've never once taken anything off of those rollers at gas stations, ever. That was tonight was literally the first time I've ever taken anything off of a roller thing, like a heating roller from a gas station ever. I've never had a tornado or whatever that's called. I've never had a gas station egg roll, which was I was a little scared about. But Quick Trip, I mean, as much as I badgered it in our first episode, the food is actually really solid gas station quality. The food's actually really solid. Like I really don't know if you really get that much higher than it. I guess people from other parts of the world will have to let us know, or other parts of the U.S., I guess, will have to let us know if gas station food gets better than Quick Trip food. I obviously haven't been everywhere in the United States, so I couldn't tell you, but I can guarantee you it's better than like mobile food or whatever, which most of them don't really have any, so yeah, it's a given. But also, I'd also like to shout out our at least one fan from Brussels. Oh my God, Belgium, Brussels is in Belgium. Um, there we had one fan from Brussels, Belgium, download the podcast, and that was pretty cool. So shout out to you, whoever you are. That's pretty awesome. Certainly write in, leave us a comment or something, and we'll get back to you for sure. Anyways, I got a little distracted. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, gas station food. I mean, yeah, it is what it is. Like Quick Trip's pretty good on the food side. It's not like good for you really, but it's like sort of cheap, pretty tasty at least. It's very saturated American food. It's pretty fucking fire actually, yeah. And if that's what you're going for. But yeah, unfortunately after the Quick Trip run, had to drop Brett off at the apartment. He had to stay home. He had a little bit of a wild night last night. So he wasn't feeling too great. So it's just me, and it's a little weird. I never really planned on recording a solo podcast for this, at least, and all of a sudden, it's like 3.5 episodes deep, and I'm already all alone. Yeah, I mean, this isn't probably going to be a very long episode. Hopefully I can stretch it to like 30 minutes, but we'll see, I guess. It's pretty late already. Like, I kind of want to just go to bed. But, the things I do for the people who might happen to want to listen to this for some reason. I guess I can kind of move on to Halloween stuff. I mean, Halloween, yeah, let me touch on this. Halloween, favorite holiday. 100%. Halloween is my favorite holiday of all of them. And that comes down, there's a lot of reasons for it, I guess, really. The most important of which being that it's spooky season. And I love spooky things. I'm not one to get scared much. Like, I can sit through most horror movies and just straight face them, which is honestly a little disappointing. But like I said, reading horror is a whole different level. Like, I'll freak out like that. Nah, for real. Like, I'm still a little freaked out from reading like a couple of the short stories that I had prepped for this beginning of this episode, or was thinking about reading for the beginning of this episode. Still a little freaked out. Like, so, there's one specifically that's like freaking. So, but either way, I just love the vibes. I love the colors. I love fall in general. I guess it's my favorite season. October's like my favorite month, and it has so much to do with the spooky season, like scary movies, the energy, Halloween in general, like dressing up, just like going out as like a character, like escaping from like a regular ass life and like regular ass holidays where you just like sit around and eat food with like your family or whatever, which is nice, but it's just, it's the same thing like every time, and gets a little old, I guess, which is why it was really important for me to have a Halloween special. I'd probably like to move on to my favorite scary movie, which I think is probably whichever one I watched last. Honestly, The Shining's pretty good. It's not really like a scary movie. It's more of a thriller, psychological, but it's good. It's certainly Stephen King movies. It's pretty awesome. I really like the Stephen King book. Is it Stephen? Does anybody know? I never know how to say that name, man. Anyways, I really like those movies. I think it's also probably because they're like based on books. I love books. I'm certainly going to get a tattoo one of these days that's of a book, and it's got pages open, and on the pages it only says the book was better. That's it. It's only 4 words on the pages. Small book. So it'll probably be like around here, maybe. I don't know. I certainly want that tattoo though. It's one, I think it's kind of hard, and two, that is me. I am the book is better guy. That you're looking at him. I don't really know. Is that a bad thing? I don't know. What do you think? Let me know. Call me a nerd if you want. No, yeah. So, I mean, that's that. It's late. I'm having a really hard time keeping track of what I'm thinking about, and I also don't know where I'm going with this. Like, I'm I'm really struggling. Like I don't have any notes. Usually we have a notebook. I got nothing. Like I'm straight up off dome right now, just trying to formulate a podcast in my mind, which is honestly something I feel like I should be really good at anyways, just because of how my brain works. Like, I don't know, this is going to be a weird thing to admit, but this like whole interaction here with me just like talking to myself isn't that weird for me. I do this all the time. Not like in this format where I have like a microphone and a camera set up, but like I talk to myself like I have multiple personalities, which I don't think I do. Um, do people who have multiple personalities know that they have multiple personalities? Oh, that's a question. I don't know. I wouldn't know. I've never watched Split. That's a that's a good scary movie I've heard about. I saw the trailers for it and I wanted to see it and then I never did, which is pretty much like every movie for me. I don't really watch movies either, which is kind of unfortunate because I want to branch this podcast into watching movies and film and like getting more into culture, because that's really, I mean, that's the whole point of this podcast really. And I guess I don't know, it's interesting because I've never really voiced this on the podcast because we've always been like engaged with each other and trying to make the podcast a podcast of some sorts. Yeah, Split. Do people with multiple personalities know they have multiple personalities? If I watched that movie, would I figure out the answer to that? I don't know. Maybe I should watch the movie. Except I'm never going to watch the movie, man. I don't. Somebody would have to make me watch the movie. That's kind of the only time I watch movies these days. Like, I couldn't tell you the last time I watched a movie by myself. I think it was probably in like August. So, oh no, that's not true. A week ago or so, I watched Renfield. Terrible movie. Don't watch it. Terrible. Like, so bad. Like, I sat down. It was, oh, actually, you know what? It was September 30th. I remember because I was like, oh, it's about to be spooky season. Let's kick it off with a spooky theme movie. And then I was like, Renfield. I regret that. There's a lot of good horror movies on Peacock right now, and I should have watched anything other than Renfield. Like, I don't want to like hate on Nicolas Cage like that because like I get it. Like that guy's got like a tough run of like, you know, like hit movies. Like he's got some good like art film stuff for sure. Like that stuff kind of crushes, and like his older movies were gas. But ever since he bought that house in New Orleans, that one that's like haunted. Oh yeah, I guess I could go into this. Yeah, I mean this is spooky season's theme. There's a house in New Orleans that once was. I'm trying to remember. It's really fucked up. I think it was like a slave trader house, like back in like the 18 something or so other, like way back. There was some like really fucked up shit happening in the attic of this house, and eventually that stuff got like busted and whatever whatnot. But ever since, everybody who's ever owned that house, I mean, I wish I could give you more details, but I was in New Orleans a couple years ago. I really don't remember exactly what the ghost tour lady was telling me. Every person who's owned that house since has had terrible luck. And Nicolas Cage, at some point in his movie career, because it's a big house, like it's a really nice house. It's in the French Quarter. Like it's expensive as fuck. Like owning that house is really expensive. Unfortunately, it's also cursed, I guess. So, and then ever since then, apparently all of his like Hollywood like centered movies have all been flops, which is true. I honestly, since like National Treasure, I can't think of a Nicolas Cage movie that was like poppin'. Like I think they've all kind of sucked. Besides like some of the art film stuff that I haven't really watched, but I know he does or did at least. So I don't know. I don't want to hate on him too bad because that wasn't his. I mean, the movie wasn't bad because of him. It was written horribly, like just so bad. Like the writing was terrible. Um, so I guess it is what it is. But I should have watched anything else. There was Get Out. I still haven't seen Get Out. Get Out was on Peacock right now. Still is. Well, maybe not because you're watching this on the 31st. But I'm sure as of right now, when I'm recording this, it's still on there, and I could watch it, but I won't have time probably. believe it or not, making music, running a podcast, working a job, and going to school all at the same time doesn't leave someone with a lot of free time, which is why I record these podcasts at midnight with Brett, and we only can release one every other week because, I mean, like, when else are we going to record? Like, I'm always at work or he's always at work. It's kind of unfortunate our schedules are so, like flip-flopped. Like, it's like if I'm not busy, he's busy, and if he's not busy, I'm busy. It's like tough. Like like it's really unfortunate, but we're still making it work, and I think I'm excited to see where this podcast goes. I'm excited to keep getting better at podcasting. I'm excited to I mean, it's just a fun thing. I like doing this. I like doing what I do with Brett. I like making the podcast how it was originally intended to be, as well as this. This is actually pretty fun. Anyways, what else? Other spooky, scary news is going on. I think I'm going as Daphne for Halloween. Me and the gang are going to be dressing up as the Scooby-Doo cast, and I, unfortunately, have expressed the desire to buzz cut the hair off of my head, which gave some of the women in our friend group the idea to dye my hair before I buzz it. So I'm going to possibly be rocking orange hair and a pink skirt. I don't think I'm going to wear a skirt, or not pink, purple. Daphne wears purple. Yeah. Purple clothes, orange hair for Halloween, and then I'm going to buzz it and have like really short orange hair for a little while. So that'll be interesting. I mean, hopefully I'll have a cool episode or two with that style. Show it off, I guess. I don't know. I'm a little nervous about it. Like, I've never dyed my hair a color, and I've done the buzz once or twice, but not orange, It's going to be interesting. I'm sure I'll update this. You'll know how it goes. Song of the week. Oh, is that what you guys were waiting for? Song of the week. Mustard by Jordan Ward, featuring Black. Silac. It's 6LACK. I as long as I've known how, like, of him, that artist existing, it's pretty shocking that I still don't know how to pronounce that. Like, I could just like look it up, but I'm probably also overthinking it. Like, it's probably just like Black. Like, that's probably how it's supposed to be pronounced. But there's a 6, so like, how do I know? What am I supposed to pronounce it like a 6 and then add the word to it? Am I supposed to just pretend it's a letter? I don't know. I've never really understood that whole thing that goes on. Like David, y'all know David, that guy that I think it's literally spelled like DA4VD or something like that. Like, what? Like, what? Or like DAVV4D or something. D4VA. I don't know, man. It doesn't work. I just read his bio the other day, and I was like, it's David? That's how I'm supposed to be saying that? Fuck. I've always been saying like D40 or something. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm being dumb, but like, I don't get the numbers. I don't get the numbers in the middle of it. Like, I really don't. Anyways, yeah, Mustard, Jordan Ward, and Black, I think. That song was shown to me by somebody really important to me, and I love that song. It's awesome. It's a really good song. So y'all should definitely listen to it. If Brett was to pick a song for the Halloween special, it'd probably be like the Monster Mash or something. Thriller. Oh, this is Thriller night. That was probably terrible. Yeah, probably something like that, Did the mash, did the monster mash. Yeah, that's the song of the week. Haiku section. It's a dreary day, but the only sun I need right now is your face. What else? Midwestern moment. You know what the funniest thing I've seen Midwestern wise happened to be today actually as well at Quick Trip. There was meat sticks and there was a dill pickle flavored meat stick. And if that isn't Midwest as fuck, I don't know what is. Because I mean, dog. What? It's just sausage in a plastic wrap. It was like a Slim Jim dill pickle flavored. And also the problem is like I kind of want to try it. I want to try it. Like I think it might actually be really good, but I didn't. I don't know, man. That's a little suspect for me. Dill pickle flavored meat, not usually up my alley, I would say. But I mean, dill pickle flavored chips though, and pickles themselves, delicious. Hypothetical, daily hypothetical, everyone. I don't really have like a hypothetical. Brett's usually the one that comes up with the hypotheticals because he's really good at that one. But I've been thinking a lot about destiny lately. So this isn't hypothetical at all, but it's more like pondering a question existentially. But you know, we could call it hypothetical. We could call it hypothetical. Certainly, I've had a really weird sequence of events just in life, and I mean the chances of it all happening feel so slim. The odds of all of these things happening to me in the sequence that they have feel impossible is what I'm saying. Like I genuinely don't understand how all of these things that have happened in my life recently have happened in the way that they have all at the same time. Like I feel like a lot of these things I should have learned earlier, or are just things that you kind of come across, you know, incrementally in life, and for it all to be piled on in like one instance, spurred by like certain moments and in essence like a certain person, is pretty wild. And I've never really been one to believe in destiny, but I don't know, man. It's pretty freaky. Like the odds of this stuff happening have got to be so minuscule that like maybe it is just meant to be. I don't want to get too much into the theology of it possibly, but like if there is something controlling the life that I live other than myself, then yo, we're really holding back for a while, huh? You really made me take the long road to get to the what feels like the first steps, to be honest. It's Halloween, man. It's a spooky time, spooky episode. Life's getting spooky for sure. As good as it's going, it's getting spooky. It's getting spooky how good it's going. You know what I'm saying? A little worried about it. Lost my notebook, like my songwriting notebook. The one I had, like it was like 100 page, 100. I think it was like 100 or 150 page notebook, just like a little leather one. You know, yay big or whatever. That was my second one that I've been through, and it was almost full, and I lost it. I think I finished writing a song in a coffee shop, a song that I was actually really proud of, sadly enough. Luckily, I remembered most of it, and I was able to like kind of rewrite most of it today. But yeah, I think I left that coffee shop, put my notebook on top of my car, and left it there and drove away. And I noticed this morning that I had no idea where it was, and it's gone. Like I'm not getting that back, apparently. My phone number is in it. My name and phone number is in it. And like a little return section on like literally like the first page. So if somebody finds it and like happens to call me, that would be cool as fuck. But I'm not really holding out hope for it, and that's okay. You know, I think that songwriting notebook in particular was really a weird journal more so than like even a stylistic choice of like displaying art or whatever. Like there was a lot more like coping going on than creating in that notebook. And I mean, that was just the period of which my life was in while I was writing in that notebook, heavily. And I've slowed down for the past couple of months. I've been working on a couple songs. Keep an eye out for stuff coming from Zenit. You're gonna hear it here first, but the one song that's out now, I hate it. It sucks. It was made so long ago. I put it out because I really just like wanted to put something out. Is there anything else I want to say? I think I've probably recorded long enough for a solo Halloween special. I want to say happy Halloween. If spooky, scary skeletons be shivering down your spine, you should at least treat them to a fine wine. I don't know what that was. I would like to say thank you to everyone who has listened to the podcast so far. It's obviously a very large work in progress, seeing as we've had 3 of the last 4 episodes actually all of the episodes have had a different amount of people sort of on it. So every episode is being a little thrown up in the air as it goes. But I think certainly gotta trust the process. I don't know how to make a podcast, so like it's just working as it goes, and as long as I'm having fun with it, it's going to continue. So hopefully, the next time I turn the camera on, there will be somebody sitting to the right of me, because it's a little more fun and a little easier to keep track of in my head. Happy Halloween! Hope you have some good candy. Remember to breathe. Like, for real. Thanks for listening. Follow the podcast. Instagram, TikTok. There should hopefully be an Instagram and TikTok video along with this episode. There will have been one for the last episode as well, which will have come out only a couple days ago, actually. So that's cool. You get, a nice little back-to-back. After this, it'll be returning on its regular every other Friday schedule. Subscribe. Download the podcast. We've got it up on Spotify, Apple Music, and pretty much most places that you can listen to podcasts, like Google, Amazon, or whatever, like a bunch of places. Like, this was weird, but kind of cool. So I guess I will see you later. Bye.